Welcome to the buy list. This is episode 79.
This is not financial advice. This is cardboard. Welcome to Poland. Look at that. Nice and gentle
Very
this
nice.
week.
Very nice. Nate, it's been a while. How you been, dude?
Dude, been great. Been playing Fang. Nothing better in the world. So just great. I
Yeah.
got to see my main man Teddy. Came
Yeah.
over to my side of the state for some RTNs.
Yeah. Did the back-to-back Saturday, Sunday action. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Drove out with a buddy. Little mini nerd trip. It's very fun.
Yep. Good to see you and
Yep.
Cole in the flesh and blood.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. So yeah, RTNs were pretty fun. You made it to the finals, I believe, on Saturday, right?
Yep, made it to the finals of the RTN on Saturday. Lost to Viserai, which again,
Mm-hmm.
not a good matchup for the deck, but it was 9-37 at one point, and then he spirit bombed me with
Mm-hmm.
Mordred Tide with 4 Malefics on board. I survived that turn, but not much longer after that.
Yeah.
Lost Elo. I didn't lose in Swiss. I won the quarters, and then I lost in the finals and lost some Elo, so that was fun.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Viserai winning that RTN, Godspeed, Purple Man. You're out of here.
Peace
He
out.
is now a living legend. No more Mordred Tide shenanigans coming from Viserai anymore.
Yes.
One of the first OG hero to LL. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll circle back to RTNs a little bit
Yeah.
after talking about the hunted in general. I went to Memphis. Hunted came out. I went to Memphis, and then we've been on a weird schedule where some stuff happened to you, not bad stuff, but just life stuff happened to you, then happened to me, and then so it's been a couple weeks since we've had an episode,
Yep.
and we haven't really been able to talk about the Hunted post release yet.
Hmm.
I'll start the Hunted has been pretty interesting. We did get some news. I'll set the table with. We did get some news from James White on the Dev Talk that there was some production issues that they had to work through, and the market definitely feels that. Like
Yeah.
people want the Hunted pretty badly. Just judging off how I'm selling cards, I'm sure you probably have that same experience as well.
Yes. It's just flying. The demand is through the roof.
Mm.
All the heroes are like very have almost a cult like following already. Fanging. So it's really cool to see cards are just they're slinging. I will say like the I don't know if it's related, but the print quality on Belgium is god awful. Those things come out basically LP the MP. Like
Yeah.
um
Yeah, I would consider that a production issue, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah. It's yeah, there's like you hold up a stack of Majestics and you literally can see just like basically it was cut with a butter knife. You can just see like markings across all of the
Yeah.
Majestics. You can tell, yeah, you know what, that was probably during the same production. All the marks are in the
Hmm.
same spot.
Yep.
So it little rough. I thought we were on a good trend in terms of production, but this I feel like took a step back. I thought Rosetta was pretty clean.
Yeah, Rosetta was pretty clean. I don't remember any like major issues as far as like edge quality or anything like that.
Mhm.
Japan printing always seems a little bit cleaner than Belgium in general,
Yeah.
but Rosetta there wasn't too much of a difference. I don't think it's something that LSS can necessarily. It's like too late. If that is what happened, again, speculation on that. It's whoops, this thing dulled or our machine broke halfway through this
Yeah.
and we didn't catch it in time. And but that aside, like I said, I think the cards themselves, we talked a little bit about it on our tier list. We never really circle back to the legendaries, but there are some legendaries that are probably worth mentioning. Quick dodge flexors are like cracked and everyone needs them. The collectability in the set is pretty nuts. There's staple Majestics with Shelter, CNC reprint. It's just like boxes. I guess what I'm trying to say is that even though the boxes prices are like holding pretty high right now at maybe 100 or above, which is a new thing for Flesh and Blood, the EV is still in those boxes, right? You don't really feel that letdown nearly as much because those cards, just how much the cards are selling and how popular the set is.
Yes, it. I think one staple majestic that's just always going to be in there. Like the shelter is going to be one of those cards that it will probably ebb and flow in and out of the meta, but not by much. Realistically, I think it's a card that's going to stay. The flexibility of the card is like too strong. Like it's sitting pretty stable now at about $80. Even if we move away from a more pingy oriented meta like we
Yeah.
are in right now with assassins and ninjas, it's still a 0 for 4 that has a lot of flexibility, which is definitely
Hmm.
something to always be considered. But then, so great staple card, a lot of good, just like staple majestics too for Draconic, for Assassin.
Hmm.
Take Up the Mantle is just was definitely wrong on that card. So sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
everybody. I literally
yeah,
hadn't played any games with a Hunted yet, but Hunter's Cleave and Take Up the Mantle are just always going to be probably just like in the decks because it's a
yeah.
pretty low deck building cost. But then, like you said, the chase, the collectability, like EA Rainbow Foil CNCs and EA Rainbow Foil shelters will just be a coveted piece to many people's collections and decks forever,
Hmm.
right? Like it's just gonna it'll touch if you're a blingy warrior, if you're a blingy
Hmm.
ninja, if you're a blingy guardian, you're gonna want these cards. Like it really drives that desirability for both players and collectors. And the Marvel is just again slap. Like the fealty looks amazing. All the arachnes look great. It's a really fun open too.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff that you can hit, right? And yeah, I think, I had some people ask me that same question. It was like, okay, Shelter of the Storm's $80 right now just because we live in Flick Knives meta. And I'm like, like, yes, there is some inflation there because of Flick Knives and because of even just dagger meta, ping meta, like you said. But really, that flexibility and like my counterpoint was like, how many times are you like holding on to that defense reaction, that sync? You're like, okay, I know they're going to come in with one thing, I'll sync the next thing, but now they're like, oh, breaking scales, or I'll pump it by one, and you're like, oh, I know you're still attacking me. I can just discard this, block that one that's coming over the top. You don't hit, and then I prevent the next. I have two floating
Mhm.
for the next three things that you throw at me. Rune chance, things like that. Arcane, if playing against Verdance this weekend, right? A lot of the time she's searching either tied for one. You're just like, yeah, sure. If they're not doing the decompose plan on you, so there's so much little nuance with that card. I think it, like you said, it will go down
Mhm.
if Syndra goes away, but it won't go down to, yeah, it's not. I think $40 is like the bare minimum for that card.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Like even like the 0 for 4 decks will just like always exist in Fab because it's just good numbers. People like playing aggro. So if you have
Yeah.
a hand that's like sync and then 3/3 blocks, and I literally just need to make sure I don't die this turn. Sure,
Yeah.
you can block the first 0 for 4 and then block the second 0 for 4 with 2 cards, and then you die to the last one. But Shelter literally covers 3 because it's
Yeah.
the flexibility of how you can play it. So it's just a really strong card. The collectability
Yep.
is really strong in this set too, uh,
Hmm.
and really, and even like James White said in the interview, like was taken aback by how well received. Like they knew that like the 100 was gonna be good, but it was like did not expect it to be like this hype. Uh,
Yeah.
Super
And
excited for High Seas because it seems like they are more hyped for that.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can almost tell, right? You're like, man, this is interesting.
Mm.
Just like you're supposed to be hyping this set more still a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We talked about it at Worlds, it was pretty evident too. Yeah, with that being said, Nate, like I said, let's circle back to it. RTN season is just about concluded as well.
Yep.
And we got one more week. I think the last week is one of the smaller weeks. It still probably has a good number of events going on. Like we mentioned, Viserai just LL'd, which is like actually pretty big news.
Yes.
That's like a big meta contender that's going to shift the meta quite drastically. But I wanted to start with just how many times I heard of RTNs being 48 people, 60 people, 73 people attending these events. Overseas, I think we had 128. I think there was like another close to 100-person event in Brazil too.
Mm-hmm.
That is a new thing. I don't think RTNs are definitely, it's not like they've been poorly attended. I guess the Lexi, was it Lexi skunked an RTN or a ProQuest
It was
season?
ProQuest season.
It was okay, yeah. But we've had seasons that have been down and pretty evidently down. But we haven't had them where it's just, man, 73. It felt like every time someone told me, like, hey, I'm at an RTN, there's X amount of people. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. It'll be interesting to see if maybe LSS drops a little tidbit, like most attended RTN season ever or something. But it just seemed hype. It just seemed like so many people were out slinging cards, dude.
Yeah, because I know the one over at Upkeep, I think, was over 50.
48.
Was it 48? And
Yeah.
then we had 39 in the middle of the state. And then
Mm-hmm.
this weekend we had a small one at 16, but there was one on the other side of the state, and then one at
Mm-hmm.
29 on
Yeah.
Sunday. So like I would say like normally for Michigan, like the attendance is going to be, depending on the weekend, like low 20s to like low 30s. So busting all the way up to 48
Yep.
and 39 was pretty cool to see. And a lot of new players. Like there's been a couple people who have literally just like come up to me, listen, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I just want to like learn. Like people who are
Yeah.
just like just absolutely famished for FAB knowledge because they're new players and they feel behind and they just want to figure out how to catch up. But just like the 1, 2, 3s of like how to get good at FAB, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's I appreciate people coming up and asking me. I don't know why they think I'm good at Flesh and Blood. Like I'm like washed as hell. But they're
Yeah,
like, people
yeah,
say you're good. Can you just like, give me some pointers of what did I do wrong in this game? What do you think about this or that? Or, hey, I really respect. And it's I don't know. I feel like an old man now. It's really cool to see though. And I really appreciate people asking for my opinion, which I sometimes meme, and I'm sorry, but
yeah.
I
I like, yeah, to your point, at Memphis, there was maybe the most amount of people that came up to me or like I played against or said, "Hey, I saw saw the content." Like the amount of times I've heard, "Hey, I started in the last 2 months since Memphis," is blows me away. It's nuts. Like, on Sunday, I played against 3 people, all started within the last 2 months. Like they're like, "Yeah, I just started 2 months ago. How long you've been playing?" Yeah, I've been playing since like Monarch. It's like 2020. They're like,
I've been
"Oh
playing
wow."
for 4 years. I'm a boomer.
Yeah, I'm the old guy. But just like hearing it's not even once in a while you get the, oh, I've been playing for 6 months, I've been playing it for a year. But now it's everyone's saying, all these new players are saying, yeah, last 2 months I started playing. And it's just, wow, that's so cool. And like you said, they're like super engaged with the game as well. It's, oh, how did I play? Did I play? This is my first RTN. Did I play fast enough? What should I do? And it's fun giving them the tips and stuff and being like, hey, if you need any help, jump in the Michigan Discord or come here, check it out. So yeah, it's been really cool, man. I think RTNs are, it's, I, like I said, I hope there's some kind of like tidbit of like info, like
Mhm.
data dump to give us like some hype and be like, wow, that's crazy that it's X percentage more than the previous season or whatnot. But
Yeah.
it definitely seems like it's been a crazy amount of hype around the RTN season
Yeah.
this time around.
I will say too, I don't know if I remember talking about how I got scammed at the pre, the pre-release that was on release day, which I can't read a calendar, so I scammed myself.
Yeah,
Um, I
yeah,
ended up going to that though on actual release day because there were people
yeah,
who wanted some cards. There were
yeah.
27 people at the release day pre-release.
Whoa, that's a that's a high number for a pre-release, dude.
It was, and everyone was just like, everyone was having a freaking blast. People were opening their product that like they
Yeah,
like bought and like getting ready
bought a
for the
case and
pre-release.
then they're
Yeah,
just in there
like,
ripping.
they're
Yeah,
opening their boxes waiting for pre-release. So like for high C's, I am very excited to see if people are buying from the store. Does it drive pre-release numbers even higher? Because 27
hmm
people for a release day pre-release is insane. It was super cool.
Yeah.
It is a great store. I just can't read a goddamn calendar to save my life. And they put on amazing events. So shout out to
Mhm.
them. And shout out to all the stores that decided to take FAB events on and run like PQs and RTNs. And
Yeah.
I know like our local store, the Griffin's Rest, the Best Rest, he gave basically the door entry was basically all given back out in prizing.
Yeah.
And I know you bought a box and it cooked. So
Yeah, that box was real good, dude.
yeah,
I was not mad about it.
no, support your
Yeah.
LGSs.
Yeah.
I supported them by buying a box of Monarch Unlimited with my gift card.
There's no chance. It's physically impossible to even get like half of the cookage in that box,
Yeah, no,
unfortunately. But Godspeed, dude. Like, you are a hero for
I
taking
mean,
that on.
for giving everything back in prize support, like you got to support the
Yeah.
LGSs, especially the ones who do it
Yeah.
right. Like I also just buy a lot of product from them in general. Like I'll just go in there and buy like Pokemon packs at
Yeah.
full retail and just be like $6 for Pokemon pack, whatever, ship
Yeah.
it. But
No, we've talked about it before too. Sorry to cut you off
yeah,
there, but we talked about this before too, that I think like it's a good idea to shout out the stores because I think over the last couple of years it's been probably a little rocky for for stores.
yeah,
Sometimes you get classic battles, things like that, and bright lights and things. But I'm pretty excited that the Hunted is paying them dues for those stores, right? The box is selling at a good clip and selling out at over $100 is really good for LGSs. I know it seems a little counterintuitive when you see box prices and you're like, yo, I don't want to pay this much. But if you really think about it, it helps the store. And if that store keeps seeing those profits, they're going to start pushing the game more and doing things like RTNs and just supporting the game overall. So I think those dividends are coming due. So it's exciting to see.
and like the store we went to on Sunday, shout out to Greg and Sidekick Toys. Like they had lunch for us. Like they ordered
That was super cool.
Subway. They brought in pop chips. So it
Yeah.
like the great. There's other like you don't have to give like prize support like actual like gift
Yeah.
cards and stuff to the store. Like you can give back and make it a fun community event and still make it profitable for you. Like
Yeah.
but and like when you walk into an LGS and they're running an event, you have to remember they are spending 6 to 9 hours running this event in their
Yeah.
store, taking up a ton of space. They have
Yeah.
every right to make some money, but they do also need to make sure that it is a fun, enjoyable event for all, and it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
you walk away with nothing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. For sure. All right. The next thing I want to talk about, Nate, is that since we've been on our little break,
Mhm.
there's been a new, I guess this is like a new phenomena in the flesh and blood market. And I felt like you brought up a good point. We should definitely talk about it. So, some of these sealed boxes, cases of these older sets, specifically 2.0 sets,
Yeah.
I don't think it really affects the 1.0 stuff too much. But here's looking at you, Outsiders and Dynasty.
Mhm.
Even Rosetta is getting a little high. So yeah, it's just interesting. It's like happening almost too quickly. I think it's like there's just some. I think there's some hype to get back into these older sets because, like we just talked about, there's a lot of there are players pushing. It's not a zero player push on these boxes, but I think we're seeing maybe more. I don't want to say it, but buyout slash like buying sealed and maybe sitting on it.
Rampant speculation, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I mean, we'll take them one by one. Like Dynasty is the oldest set. Ain't nobody paying $170 a box for that.
Yeah, you should not either.
No one should pay $170 a box for that. The cards in it are not worth $170, even close to it. You
Yeah.
have one chase card that kind of got bought out, which is the CNC, that also has
Yeah.
another reprint now that some people might like better. And LSS will probably reprint CNC again. That feels very manufactured by
Yeah.
a certain person with a taco stand. He talks about Dynasty. It was already on the rise up, which And
Yeah.
he always prefaces it with, "One of my patrons said, go look at this." And it's, "Did one of your patrons do that?" And then, okay, then he tells everybody to go look at it and like, "Oh, I want." And it just like further foments the FOMO, the movement into it.
Yeah.
So there,
I chuckle at Dynasty a little bit, Nate, because I don't know if you guys were doing breaks back then,
no.
but I opened probably close to 20 cases on this channel. It was over 15
Yeah.
for sure. I did not even sniff a CNC until I bought a Lucy box like 6, 7 months ago and just randomly pulled one. That is like one of the hardest cards to pull
Mhm.
in Flesh and Blood. So like being like, oh man, there's a $1,500 card in this box. It's yeah, but good luck, man. Like you just yeah, I would be careful. Yeah, that's I guess this segment is a lot of just be careful on these, man. And then Outsiders is following it a little bit too.
Now, Outsiders, I will say, I think is a lot more player driven
Yes, I
because
agree.
the Hunted really taps into a lot of those mechanics,
Hmm.
specifically flick knives. And then
Yeah,
also the High Seas release of
yeah,
showing we're going to the ocean and there's a literal trench card. Maybe those two things go together. I think Outsiders is a little bit more player driven, but I would still.
I think there's some pushing. It's not all players though.
Mm-mm. That would
It's
be
there's some
that would be something I would
some
be.
speculation on that.
Yes, if you are like maybe a sealed collector or investor, that is a playground I would be a little bit more careful within. I think there's a lot of excitement right now. There's a lot of players entering the game, but I think Outsiders is the one that I probably believe the most, and this is actual real movement, and
Yeah.
it can stick it. I know that like I was able to get some boxes of Outsiders before,
Hmm.
just like what after we got done with the Hunted, we are like, maybe Outsiders. Flicks Knives is high. Codex of Frailty, that's a nice hit. So I was able to
Yeah.
get my hands on a couple boxes, but that was basically it.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty much sold out everywhere else. Rosetta definitely feels like games are being played with. It's a
Yeah.
brand new set. It probably shouldn't already be going up to 110 a box, which
Yeah.
I think, did you send it to me?
Yeah, it's 104 a box right now in TCG Player. And again, I think we should also just talk about too Flesh and Blood prices, sealed prices on TCG Player is very weird. If you look at the amount sold, like they give you that 3 month statistic and it's just super low, right? You can like click on Star Wars Unlimited and it's just multiple 10 times the amount
Yep.
of like cases or boxes sold. So like Flesh and Blood sealed doesn't really get sold on TCG Player, but it is somewhat it's loosely used as a bogey for the box price
Yep.
most of the time. But yeah, I would also like jumping back to Outsiders a bit. If you've been watching my market minutes, every time I talk about an outsider card, specifically like the legendaries and rainbow foil versions of those, that set had some weird pull rates. So just being like, I'm going to open a case and get a Codex of Frailty, I would say that's like a little sketchy in that set because the Majestics were not quite as frequent in those boxes.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
it's very clumpy. I will say the boxes that me and Josh opened, we ran real hot, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that is not to be expected. We hit 2 rainbow foil codexes and I think 5 non-foils
Yeah. Another,
in like
well,
28 boxes.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. There was another mutual friend of ours tried to prove me wrong. And he opened a case or two and he got absolutely dunked on, dude.
yeah.
He got rinsed. It was like, yeah, told you, dude. Like that
Yeah.
set, like, uh, yeah.
It,
When you do box breaks, you have lingering feelings for a set, and that set, I had the tingling in the back of my brain is, ooh, Outsiders is a scary open still.
yeah. So,
It's a less scary open now because like Flick Knives is gas, and there's like a bunch of other gas cards, but
yes. That was the first set that we ever opened. We did 100 boxes of Outsiders. It was so it holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
We did it in the back room. It was just like we were like sorting every single card. Like it was, man, there was so much wrong with what we did. But it was also that first set where it was like 4 non-foil Majestics and then
Yeah.
1 rainbow foil, maybe 2. But the legendaries were just like
Yeah, I
hot
was
to
gonna
trot.
say, but you get a free Rainbow Foil Legendary every box there too.
Yes, rainbow foil
It was like,
legendaries were
dude, this is insane.
coming pretty easy. But the
Like, I
marbles were
don't need this.
incredibly hard pulls, which is so
Yeah,
we
very
got
hard.
28 boxes and we agreed that like, all right, we'll smush them together to level out the variance of what we could actually get a hold of.
Yeah.
I opened a rainbow foil Plague Hive, a cold foil Blood Rot, and a rainbow foil Codex of Frailty and a non-foil Codex of Frailty. And I was the one who failed us. Like he opened like 4 legendaries, got the flick knives, got
Yeah.
like a bunch of codexes. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude, I thought I did really well, but no, it's like the set
Yeah.
has a lot of ups, a lot of downs. So
Yeah.
just definitely be careful going in the Outsiders because you can open a like $4 box.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, dude. It gets pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess the overall, before we move on to the next item here, Nate, is that just be careful with these seal prices. Like, I would let them simmer if you're like itching to open boxes. Open hunted, actually. If you can get some hunted boxes, and honestly, you can, yeah, if you can grab a case or so, you do all right. And it's a fun open. All right, next thing up, Nate. Dude, what's up with last week in spoilers? We got Max Armory deck,
Yep.
and then the next day we got Valda for the ProQuest thing.
Yep.
So she got 2 auras and an attack
Hmm.
in the kit, and then obviously they spoiled the hero. She still does the exact same thing, just templated differently, but essentially mechanically the same. If you look at her wording, it is different, but it's the same.
She got nerfed
No,
because I think it was.
no, I don't think
I
so.
think the young version was you made a seismic search for each card they drew. Now it's only like the first time they draw.
Judges in my Discord said that it's just templating.
Oh, okay.
And it says for each card they draw or something. It's different, but it's the same. Tough thing is no one draws cards anymore.
Yes.
Poor Volta.
Cool.
But I will say her one aura that is her aura, both her auras that were spoiled are go again. And the one says both heroes draw a card. That's pretty good, especially with Earthlore Bounty. You're making 2 seismic surges. It's her whole shtick. I'm not very high on this hero, by the way. Like
I've never been more happy than when my opponent gives me an extra card. I'm just
yeah, especially
saying.
but she dominates, right? Maybe if she can keep the seismic surges going, then it doesn't matter if you have an extra card. You're getting crushed anyways. Maybe, but it'll be interesting to see how she comes out the gates because I fear the timing's a little off on her design, Nate. And I don't want to come off super negative here, but drawing cards was very prevalent, and then now it's just not.
Yeah.
You just put her in the pile with your balance of justice.
Yeah.
Someday.
Someday.
I think Crush is a
the thing is, if you literally just printed a textless Guardian,
yeah,
it'd be good enough. It'd be
it's
good
true.
enough to win games.
Yeah,
You don't even look at Betsy.
yeah,
Texas Guardian sometimes wins games.
yeah.
If anything, Volda has the upside of not having a text box where people are like, "Ooh, we should build towards this," and you know what? She just does Guardian things.
Yeah, I think I don't disagree with you. I think she'll just be a solid hero that they inch towards. They give her little things, but also she's I don't know. It will be very interesting how she handles her because you have to draw. I thought for sure that she was going to have a different text box.
She was supposed to. This was supposed to coincide with Mastery Pack as well.
Yeah, she's in the Mastery.
Yes,
box,
which
right?
is now in August.
Yeah,
So she's
a year.
It's just maybe this is like an Ira situation where it's just listen, we'll give it to you, have fun. It's not gonna be the greatest thing in the world, but people wanted it, so here you go. Have fun. I don't
Yeah.
know. But
No,
I'm hyped about
definitely.
Max. Can we talk about Max?
Yeah. Max. So now that we got Vault out of the way, we can definitely talk about Max. Max is actually one of my favorite heroes. Actually, they spoiled they spoiled the new weapon, and they spoiled. Wait, is it just the weapon? I'm like completely
It's
blanking.
the weapon, and then I don't even know what it's a blue thing that makes your wrenchies plus
Clamp
two.
press.
Yeah.
Yeah, this enters the arena with 2 steam counters. At the start of your turn, destroy this unless you remove a steam counter. Wrenches you control gain +2. And Bank Breaker is attack twice per turn action for 1 cost, 3 power. Activate this if you've cranked. And then it says when you attack, banish a card from underneath of it. If you do, it gains overpower and go again. Dude, that new wrench, dude, that's spicy. If you're pumping, if you're gigawatting an overpower wrench twice a turn, you pump.
Dude, does Gigawatt make it for the whole turn?
Oh, no, I think it's just. I say gigawatt because I think gigawatt's just mechanologist attack, right? That's the
Your
only pump
next
I can.
mechan yes, it is.
Yeah,
I think I sold some rainbow foils of these, so I was like, wait, is this why? Is this the secret
yes,
technology that I've been missing all my life?
yeah. It'll be interesting. I think they're going to have to limit how many cards you can like slide under that wrench because that's quite strong
Dude,
attacking
no,
with
it's
that type
not. It's
twice.
fine. Dude, give him in like literally, I don't think giving Max a 2 for 6 weapon is gonna be like game breaking.
If you can swing it twice for 2 resources, that's quite strong.
You gotta be able to put
You gotta,
some stuff
yeah,
under it. But
yeah,
then I think what was really cool is the existence of clampy clamps makes Banksy better too. Because all of a sudden now Banksy's swinging for 5,
5
and
on
on
hit.
hit I put. I'm gonna keep swinging this Banksy
Yeah,
for 5 if you let me.
yeah,
Um,
literally gives you $1 every time it hits. So it's,
it keeps that +2 on the wrench around. So
oh wow, yeah, it literally feeds itself.
it you great. You
Oh
make a
wait, no, does
hyperdriver.
Banksy do just what's it called?
It Banksy is on hit. Put
Oh,
a
it's
steam
any.
counter on an item with crank. So you put it back on the wrench or the clamp. So you just if an aggro deck doesn't want to block you and doesn't want to give you 2 cards on your wrench, then your wrench is 5 like in perpetuity.
Forever.
Yeah.
Perma
Hey
5.
Syndra, that's fine. You do cute things, but I have a wrench for 5.
It's not nothing, dude. That's a good point. That's quite
Bonk
strong.
bonk, mother trucker.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm pumped for this.
Bonk
I'm really
5.
excited, Nate, to see how they redesign Max. I know my Discord was, oh my god, let's get a subtle reprint of High Octane. I was like, nah. These 2 cards tell me everything I need to know. I believe they are pushing away from constructing the mechanoid
Yeah.
because constructing the mechanoid is fun but toxic, Nate. You do not want a meta where everyone's just constructing the mechanoid.
Dude,
I'll do 50.
whatever. I remember you went to some event in
I love that
Ohio
deck.
and you were like, what should I play? I was like, Max. Like, why? I was like, it's dude, you just hop in the mech and bonk some people. And you had the
Dude,
best time of your life.
I did. And I'm sad to say this because I do love constructing the mechanoid, but it gets pretty toxic. So I think, but like these 2 cards, they don't, yeah, this isn't construct mechanoid support. That doesn't mean that there isn't
Technically,
another.
it could be. Because if he has now a way to put stuff under his weapon, that goes under the mechanoid, and now your mechanoid has more than 8 swings.
Yeah, but you don't have a way to gain action points.
You
I guess what
need
I'm
to if
saying.
you just swing for free for 6 every turn. Who needs action points, baby, when it's just like block 12 6? Hey Syndra, that's really
Yeah,
cute that you have flick knives. 6.
Yeah, until Syndra kills you with a
How? It's
that
impossible.
she has that dude, I had that card played against me this weekend where it just put a -1 counter on an equipment and kill it if it's 0. I'm like,
Okay, so you played a bad deck. I'm like,
that was rude. Um,
sorry, whoever put that card in the deck, but it was bad. You know it is.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it. If there's still a mech deck that is viable, that's cool. I think the mech deck is viable. You can play it. It's just you don't have that reach to once you get the mech, you just draw high octane and smoke somebody, right? You have to play a little bit differently. But I'm excited just to see wrench just wrenching people, whacking them with the wrench.
Ted,
So
Ted, do you smell that? Is that a Max deck tech coming? You bet it is in April when it releases.
in April. Yeah. So that's like super hype.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited that literally we are now 3 weeks from the next. If they continue this trend, like we spoke about on our 2025 preview, that we're almost a month away from the next Armory deck being announced. Because we have an Armory deck until August, I believe, every month. Just I like resetting the clock every month. Ooh, I wonder who the next hero is going to be. But Max is a cool one because I think he needed some help.
I think they wanted to plug that in to shake up the meta specifically for the PQ meta. I'm expecting Max to mess with whatever meta is set up for London because he's after London.
Oh,
and then so is the PQ meta.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And we also found out the Pro Tour was in Singapore. So
yeah, that happened too. Yeah, very cool. That place looks awesome, but it's literally like 27-hour flight for me.
no shot.
Yeah, not happening.
Good luck,
Not
everybody.
happening this year.
Nope.
Not happening.
Nope.
If I'm in a plane over 10 hours, I'm going back to Japan.
Yep.
Sorry.
100%. My wife wanted to go to Hawaii for our anniversary, and I looked at flights. I was like, this is 15 hours. Why don't we just go to Japan? She's like, I don't want to go to Japan.
You said that. You say that now, but
yeah,
once you get there, then you're like, oh my God.
You haven't had heated toilet seats before. I can tell you that right now.
Those are pretty special. Those are very special.
Yes, they are.
Speaking of, no, that's
heated
not a
seats.
segue. Yeah, that's not a heated toilet seats, high C's.
Yep.
You got any high C's going on in your toilets? I don't know. So the next set, there was no.
Dude, I think you just woke Brian up.
Yeah, Brian's like, wait, what just happened? So high C's was high. Have we even talked about high C's? I don't think we have. No. So high C's was also a thing that happened since we've had an episode.
Yep.
We got a very short spoiler video. It was definitely a pirate ship. The dev talk, they definitely got me. I was like, why is Brian saying that there's no pirates? I was like literally thinking, what is he talking about? And then James hit us with it. Of course there's pirates. So yeah, that was pretty epic, dude. I always was like, that would be cool. But now that it's a reality, I'm like, this might be like one of the best themed sets they do yet. Just mixing Flesh and Blood with pirate stuff is like chef's kiss.
I'm very conflicted. And Ted's already heard my earful. I'm very conflicted. One, very clearly playing into the One Piece theme. Like, definitely trying to play to that crowd. But listen, pirates play to anybody. But also, obviously, One Piece, one of the greatest pirate animes of all time. I think probably the only. I actually don't. I don't know anything about anime, but I assume there's probably at least another one. But I'm very excited for this set. I am not very excited for the choice that has been made for how it's released in the US. I think if we look at like last year, MST was released 2 weeks before Nationals, and the world premiere was 2 weeks before that in Japan, with a Japanese only draft portion on day 2. So they actually gave us all the cards a week before that. So we had basically 5 weeks to prepare for US Nationals for Classic Constructed and Draft.
Yeah.
we don't have any time to prepare for US Nationals. The world premiere is in Taipei. I'm gonna list the number of people who will be attending Taipei on one hand. From the US. Brody Spurlock, Michael Fang, end of list. That's it. I can't think of anybody else who's gonna fly to Taipei to go to the world premiere to come back to the US Nationals and play 2 weeks later. I think that they at least have addressed the product availability, which,
Yeah.
while it's better than YOLO, show up to the event, find a vendor who will rob you blind, I still don't like. It's still a bad situation. You can't order your options. Okay, so uh, we're like 47 minutes and no one's listening, so we'll go
Oh,
through.
there it is.
We'll go.
We've officially made it to the point of the pod when Nate says no one's listening.
No one's listening. So first, my first grievance here is that this short of a window for preparation is only going to benefit the people with the high level testing teams, large testing teams, and who have infinite time to do this. I love all three people who I'm about to name, but Michael Fang, Brody for Michael Hamilton.
Damn, you
It,
just named the names there.
I am. It just benefits them. They play flesh and blood full time.
Hmm.
It's going to be hard to compete against them. And they're like some of the best humans and some of my best friends, but it will be hard to compete against them when they get 50 plus hours of prep more than everybody
Yeah.
else. It like looking at previous like release day tournaments, there's been decks that Yuki is very good at this. Yuki's done it twice now where she's built the deck that wins the event. She built the Syndra deck that Brody piloted to first place in Memphis. She built a KO deck that she won the Hartford Whalers Battle Harden with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was
Um,
like release day KO. Yeah.
and again, Yuki plays Flesh and Blood full time. So
Yeah.
I think an enormous advantage is given to those players going into this tournament with so little prep. There's virtually no way to get any actual draft prep in. You get product that weekend. You might be able to squeeze one or two in-person drafts in, but then, like, how are you ensuring that you are even going to get all the cards for the deck? Are you going to buy
Yeah.
5 to 6 cases worth of product and open it and sort it and build your deck? Like
Yeah.
that is time that you have from Friday to you have to be ready for the tournament on the following Friday. So you have to reasonably have all the cards packed and you're probably flying out Thursday. So you've got 6 days and you have, and maybe this is just like a me thing because I have a wife, kids, and a
Yeah.
job that can be quite time consuming. It's disheartening to roll up to a tournament that I don't feel prepared to play in because I don't have enough time to actually play it. But I think that it potentially can hurt LGSs as well because a lot of people are going to go to this event and buy product there.
With the new pre-release, how the new pre-releases are working, right? They get all their product on pre-release day, right? So that will be at least what you said. It's a week ahead of the event.
It is literally 7 days, but really six because the event starts on Friday.
Yeah,
So
it is tough. I think I agree with you. I think it lessens the competitiveness of the event, which kind of sucks. And I think I would be more okay with it, Nate, if this was like a pro tour event. I know going up like another level and competitive seems counterintuitive, but everyone's on the same playing field if it was like a pro tour or like a calling. Let's say it was just a release day calling like Memphis. You're somewhat on the same, like the world is on the same level. Unfortunately with Nats, the rest of the world plays after US.
they're like
So
3 weeks after the US.
yeah, there's some countries that are 3 weeks after. So it's every weekend after that, those nationals players get an extra week of prep, get an extra week to find their cards, in
They get
which
multiple extra
fe-
weeks. Like that's
feels bad, right?
They want to
I
put
think
us like
that's what
on
makes
the
it a little
world stage
sticky.
to premiere. That's the other thing too, is they want us to put us on the world stage to premiere their product,
Yeah.
which I think is like obviously it's their product. They should do that. Callings are fine to do that in because people are making that choice to go to that specific calling to do that.
Yeah.
Nationals is a thing that happens once a year. And this is an event that even some not hyper competitive players are very excited for. They're trying to qualify to go to this event because
Mhm.
this is like their Super Bowl where I feel like that sounds bad, but like competitive players, the pro tours are like in the worlds, that's like the big event. But for a lot of
Yeah.
people, nationals is their Super Bowl. So it really hurts them. And I've had people say I'm not super excited to figure out like what I'm playing and go to this event to expand. But I harken back to this is going to be a brand new set. You are putting this on the world stage to show off your product is going to look bad when people aren't aware of the cards. There's going to be lots of the stream coverage is going to be a little bit scuffed. There's going to be
Yeah, it's gonna
misplays
be
on
clunky.
stream. There's going to be a lot of rules interactions that get missed, or I just like maybe it's my own personal experience of being on stream and feeling that pressure of spectral manifestation was not in my deck list with 5 weeks of prep until the Wednesday before I flew to where the heck Minnesota. That's where the
Yeah.
national.
Yeah, Minnesota.
So like I was not used to playing with spectral manifestations and warmongers in the same deck.
Yeah.
So those are like the small interactions that will be missed and overlooked and can really like derail a stream. So from that perspective too, I just I don't understand why Ellis is doing a lot of good
Yeah.
things, and I hope they take this feedback, and I hope this never happens again for nationals because this is bad. I
Yeah.
just don't think this is a way you should run a nationals like on release day. It's not good. Give it a week, two, especially with the new
Yeah.
like product release schedule. Like it can still be a very fresh meta that isn't solved, but it feels
Yeah, it does seem like okay, so like on the surface, I think it does feel a little bit like an unforced error, Nate. Like I think at first look, but again, like they're good at taking feedback, and I'd be surprised if it happens next year, to be honest.
yeah.
But I just knowing and watching this game grow and know how it goes, this feels to me like something went a little awry like in the production schedule or something. It was like this got shifted by a week and then it just, oh, come on, man. And I feel for him, right? That if it is that case, I don't think they're, to me, I don't think they're doing this on purpose, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't think James White and Brian are sitting down and being like, I think we should force players to play the new set on no prep. I, that seems weird, man. Because I, yeah,
It's
for like all the reasons you just mentioned,
I just don't
why?
understand why we're 3 weeks ahead of the rest of the world. Is the
Yeah.
That's the thing that like maybe it's not three. I don't. Someone told me it was three, so that might not be accurate.
I
But
don't think it is. I think it's like we start it and then everyone's behind us by at least a week.
yeah, I just
I could see they should have done it where like Canada was behind. Like we move back a week and then Canada moves back a week too, so that you get the people coming from Canada for the calling. But I don't think how many people, no one's coming from, there will be some people from around the world coming to Vegas, but it's not going to be a lot. So you're not hindering others, right, from other countries coming in. Maybe South America, maybe Brazil, but I don't know. Like,
it's not. I know the Canadians come to the U.S. Nationals calling because it's better pricing than their nationals, but that's also because it's not that expensive to travel.
yeah,
Where I think a
it,
lot of other countries it would be cost prohibitive. You might get one or two, but like it,
yeah. I
it
guess they
feels
just don't
it,
want other nationals overlapping U.S. Right? They want to give everyone their stage ish,
yes.
but
I will say if we
yeah,
had more time with this, if they won't do it, but if they like spoiled this at like 2 weeks ahead of the world premiere, maybe. that's not as bad. At least we have
Yeah.
time to prepare, but it's the product. Getting product is stressful enough. Like, I think they're going to see there will be one or two people who bring a brand new deck that is not discovered and will run through the tournament, like Syndra did. No one thought Syndra was a good
Maybe.
deck.
Maybe. Yeah.
But with how they do Yuki's a very good deck builder. Whoever's talking to Yuki has a good
Yeah.
shot at winning U.S. Nationals with a rogue deck because people just won't be ready to play against it.
Maybe I should retract my statement. Maybe that is a good enough reason to do this type of release. Pretty, pretty exciting when like Syndra and KO win stuff day one. I don't know if it's worth the. I don't know if it's worth the damage it's doing. To be fair, and again, I'm just spitballing here, so I don't know. But I think with that aside, I hope the feedback. They're definitely getting feedback on it.
Yeah,
and we've always said this. LSS is great at taking feedback
yes,
and adjusting and being better. I would be shocked if this happens again unless it's by design and they give us, and then they would probably break it down for us and tell us why they're doing it. And then they would take more feedback. So
yes. I
that's how it's always worked. So it's exciting.
I think to touch back on like how this affects the LGSs too is if they don't sell those products on pre-release weekend, like if they don't sell the boxes, who's coming back in after US Nationals is I want to open high seas. I want to draft because there's going to what is the next
But you're
event
talking
after
about like
US
100.
Nationals?
You're
Like
talking about a limited number of players though,
US Nationals polls a lot of people.
like 400 people.
For Nationals, yes, but
Yeah,
are you playing in Nationals, Ted?
I am not.
Hey, you're going to Nationals. There's a lot of
I
people.
am going, but to say that I won't open high seas after I get back is not
Yeah,
is
but
like
you're a degenerate.
well, but there's most people are like most people will be not going to nationals.
There's probably like
Eh,
1,000 plus players who go to Nationals, and I think those are probably also the most engaged players in your game who probably spend the most amount of dollars on product. And but where is the player demand for cards coming after US Nationals? That's the other thing too, is like what's after US Nationals? There's again, like we talked about Singapore is the next pro tour. That is a
yeah,
27-hour flight. That's for us on the East Coast, but for a
yeah.
lot of people, that's still a really
Still,
long flight.
it's still a while.
You're probably even on the West Coast, you're probably what, like 22 hours?
Yes, yeah, it's like only 5 hours. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, Nate. Hey, I don't disagree with a lot of your points. I think it's yeah.
I think you sell a lot more boxes at the LGS if you give 2-3 weeks because people are going to want to do draft prep. They're going to want to draft the new set. If you get half your store coming back from US Nationals and they're like, I don't want to see another high seas box for a week or two. I don't want to draft high seas. I just drafted the crap out of it in Vegas. I don't
That's
know.
what I
Then again,
disagree.
my store's not super draft oriented. We have a person who drafts
We'll
like
draft.
18 pieces
Yeah,
of
we have we draft every other week, and it's most of the time. Unfortunately, it's a 10-man chaos pod. But come on, guys, two people don't show up. I just want a normal draft.
yeah.
Joking, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super hyped for the high seas. Like getting back to the positivity, I think I am excited to see what they tell us because I think every spoiler for this set is going to be like it's going to be cooking, dude. I know it because just how excited they are for it. I know they're just chomping at the bit to tell us what's in it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for spoilers. I'm excited for this set. I think if they string together Rosetta into Hunted into High Seas and High Seas is as good as it feels like it's going to be, man, it's going to be great.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
Not for the event.
So,
Very excited.
yes. All right, Nate. I think we can put a pin in it there, man.
Yeah.
Please subscribe, do all the dues. If you made it this far, leave a comment down below. How many people were at an RTN that you went to this weekend, or what are you most hyped for the high seas? What are you looking for? Leave a comment down below. Do the do's.
And remember, put your money where your mouth is. Bow, bow, bow.
Peace.
Peace.